Now at 10, the clock may be ticking down for a death row inmate in Missouri despite some questions. Plus, a man arrested in connection with the Jasper County murder faces charges in the Kansas City area. And a haunted house in Webb City serves up scares and community support.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Time might be running out for a Missouri death row inmate whose case has sparked some second thoughts. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Today, the Missouri Supreme Court refused to stop the execution of Marcellus Williams. In 2001, he was convicted in the 1998 stabbing death of former newspaper reporter Felicia Gale. Williams has always maintained his innocence. Prosecutors might be reconsidering his case now. In a rare move, St. Louis's top prosecutor filed a motion to vacate the conviction in January. Currently, the only person who can stop the execution is Missouri Governor Parson. He issued a statement today saying he does not plan to do so, citing 15 hearings that allowed Williams' conviction to stand. Williams is scheduled to die by lethal injection tomorrow at 6 p.m. One of 2 brothers connected to the murder of a man in Jasper County, Missouri, is now formally charged with violent crimes in the Kansas City area. Authorities say the suspects are 2 illegal immigrants from Honduras, Jose Cantero Benitez and Adin Amin Cantero Benitez. Investigators believe they were headed to Oklahoma to buy meth but got stranded in Joplin and were out of money. Authorities believe they then fatally shot 63-year-old Oklahoma resident Jesse Gilmore at the Road Ranger gas station on Joplin's South Prigmore Avenue and stole his car. Investigators believe they disposed of the body in a ditch alongside Interstate 44. The 2 brothers were later arrested for separate crimes not related to the Jasper County murder in Kansas City and Independence, Missouri. Jose Benitez today made his first court appearance in Jackson County, Missouri, for shooting and attempted carjacking there. The charges include first-degree assault, vehicle hijacking, and armed criminal action. At last report, the victim in that case, a woman, was in critical condition. In a separate case, he's also accused of pistol whipping a woman in Kansas City, Missouri. The Jasper County Prosecutor's Office had already filed charges against Adin Benitez, including first-degree murder, robbery, and abandonment of a corpse. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office expects additional charges against Jose Benitez as well. The investigation continues following an overnight crash on Gum Road in Joplin. Troopers say a pickup left the road, took out fence posts, and ramped a driveway and overturned. People who came upon the crash say they couldn't find a driver. Troopers are investigating to find out who was driving. Considerably cooler out there in the last day or so. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, about 25 degrees cooler today compared to what we saw yesterday due to a very strong cold front that rolled through, and it gave us scattered showers and thunderstorms over the past few days. 66 was our high. And that was a midnight high. 62 is where we started. 79 is our average high for this time of the year. 63 in Joplin, 61 in Pittsburgh. You can actually see most of us across the board are sitting steady into the mid-60s at this point in time. Not a whole bunch going on. We are going to get some fog out there, so dense fog advisories in effect, but fog is really going to start to pick up later on tonight. Most of the rain is out of here, still a little mist, still a little bit of drizzle. You can see the heaviest rain, 1 to 2 inches, fell on the Missouri side for us today, but look how the fog builds in as we go through the next several hours, so be careful if you're going to be out late tonight, plus some additional rain chances. We're going to look at that here in a bit.
See you soon. OSHA says they're reevaluating proposed regulations that would impact fire departments. Since the agency announced their proposal in February, the regulations have faced backlash from some fire departments, the National Volunteer Fire Council, and even state representatives. Concerns surround the ability for volunteer and rural departments to comply with regulations. Many of those departments already struggle with funding.
I am speaking out against this because I want to make sure that we still have a future for the fire service in the 4 states, in rural America, because I really see this as a move to eliminate some of the rural departments out there.
In a statement, OSHA says it's considering excluding volunteer departments entirely. The agency is encouraging those impacted by the regulations to speak out at their public rulemaking hearing starting November 12th. It's time of year when haunted house attractions are hiring in preparation for spooky season. KOAM's Lonnie Walton visited one in Webb City and learned they're about more than just the screams.
We have people that get scared in the first room and they chicken out, so we have a lot of chicken exits. We have all different kinds of mazes with different characters. So anywhere you go, you never know where a character's lurking. So they're screaming all the way through till the very end.
Maddie Idris is the owner of Unleashed Hunt. However, it's not your typical haunted house. While the screams are plenty, so is the gift back to the community.
We donate to various different organizations. The Humane Society is one we always give, we try to give a donation to. I'm actually partnering with the Webb City Theater Department. They're coming out and acting, and in return I'm going to give them a donation to their school program. And then various cancer organizations, Special Olympics, we're actually doing the polar plunge.
Idris and the haunted house actors make sure fun is endured by all.
Kids or someone who's scared, if they want to go through and see everything, we give them a neon light and we take them through with a flashlight, and none of my actors will scare them.
If you really want to get spooked, watch out.
We have an experience for everybody, but we also are really scary and will make people pee their pants or pass out. So yeah.
Reporting in Webb City, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Unleashed Haunt opens this weekend for anyone ready to get into the spooky season spirit. If you're looking for more spooky events in the area, well, we've got you covered. Head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/events, where you'll find all kinds of events, including pumpkin patches, spook houses, and trick-or-treat events, and a whole lot more. Native American organizations come together in Northeast Oklahoma to help ensure their voices are heard on Election Day. That's coming up. And later, older cancer survivors face an uphill battle against the risk of stroke and heart attack. A new CBS News poll looking at how things stand post-presidential debate finds the race for the White House clearly remains a very close contest. Either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris could win. VP Harris seems to be benefiting from some of the latest news on the economy and from her performance in the debate. CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, breaks it down.
Let's take a look at the latest CBS polling. We've got a 4-point difference here between Kamala Harris up over Donald Trump at 48%. That's nationally, but what really counts are the battleground states, the key states that will decide the election in the Electoral College. And there, it's much tighter. It's +2 Harris. This represents a small shift towards Harris following the debate. But what's importantly driving this is after a week in which you saw a Fed rate cut, in which a lot of folks in the polling say they see gas prices going down, we've seen an uptick in the number of voters who say they think the economy is good. Now, it's still not a majority. Most still say it's bad, and they're still hard hit by inflation. But the reason this impacts the race is that Kamala Harris wins more voters who say the economy is good. And what that's done is it's allowed her to cut into Donald Trump's advantage, and he still has one, among voters who say the economy is a major factor. That's a narrower edge than it was last month. So you start to see those shifts in the economy. You start to see a little bit of those shifts in the polls. It still is, though, a race that either candidate can win. This is Anthony Salvanto from New York with the latest CBS News polling.
Northeastern Oklahoma Native American organizations are collaborating to host Native voter registration events. They plan to go to other locations, including healthcare facilities and festivals, to help people get signed up. Today, they were outside of the Intertribal Council in Miami, helping people register. They want to make it easier for people to check their voter registration status, especially because thousands of Oklahoma voters were recently purged from voter rolls and might not be aware that they need to re-register. The organizations want to make it easier for Native Americans to use their voice and be represented.
We want to vote for people who help us. And so and have an interest in what the tribes and nations in this area need. So yeah, we want our members to be knowledgeable of those things.
Their goal is to increase voter turnout, especially because Oklahoma has one of the lowest rates of voter turnout in the U.S. One big issue this election season is immigration and border security. We talked with the Republican and Democratic candidates for U.S. Congressional District 2 of Kansas to get their thoughts.
The U.S. House of Representatives, more than a year ago, passed additional legislation to try to strengthen border security, and it's been languishing in the Senate. So I think we do the border first, period, end of story. Once that's done, so that we know who's coming and going and we have control over who's coming and going, then I do think we need to have a much more thoughtful conversation about what are the right immigration levels for a country that's built of immigrants in terms of visa, who gets to come, who gets to go.
Now, if you go back to my voting record, I stand out in the 110th Congress, like way out. I'm an outlier in the Democratic Party. I have the most conservative voting record when it came to immigration. And I begged my party and said, if we don't do something to fix the border, and by the way, the good people of Kansas do not want to hear one more thing about any kind of path to citizenship until we have gotten border security down.
We talked with the candidates on a wide range of issues. You can see those complete unedited interviews on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A little later, a familiar face spends the day with some students at a school in Columbus, Kansas.
Plus, we have some more rain in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, we've been dealing with on and off showers, even a few thunderstorms over the past couple days, which we need. We need the rain greatly today. We actually picked up an inch at the airport in Joplin, but only 1.13 for the month. But at least everybody in the four-state area has picked up something over the past couple days. Great shot, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam looking northeast right through downtown. Looks pretty good at this point in time. Much of the same. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort also looking kind of cloudy, kind of dreary out there. But any showers we had earlier, and these are all gone. So we're pretty quiet as we go through the rest of the night. Of course, though, we're going to have to be dealing with fog building in as we go through the next several hours. So the clouds clear out, but that low-level fog starts to build in. So our visibilities will be dropping as we go through the overnight hours. Dense fog advisory once you get out from Fredonia, Chanute, Parsons, Independence, Oswego. But I think everybody, we're going to have visibilities a quarter to a half a mile, so be very careful if you're going to be on the roadways. All right, temperatures pretty steady, sitting into the lower 60s. We'll drop back near 60 later on tonight. Let's go south. Here is what is soon to be Helene, which is going to track northwest, become a tropical storm, then a hurricane. 1, 2, possibly a low-grade Category 3, but at least a Category 2, and then it lifts up into the southeastern parts of the U.S. So this will be a big story as we watch Helene over the next couple days. We'll make landfall here sometime Thursday afternoon. But here's something interesting. Here's our upper level low that is giving us our rain now. So we're going to see something that is called the Fujiwara effect. It's so hard to say, but really, if you take a center point, two systems will kind of rotate around each other. So you can see our system drops south, this one drops north, but the moisture from the tropical system works back toward the west, and the end result is we get some rain chances once again later this week. So late Thursday, showers starting to creep in, on and off showers on Friday, and then Friday night into Saturday, still some scattered showers. It looks like the bulk of it's going to be along and south of I-44. We're going to have to watch and see exactly how much of that moisture transports back toward the west. And even still a few showers on Sunday. So at least we have additional rain chances. So if we look at it from this point on all the way through the weekend, a lot of areas, especially on the Missouri side, will pick up a half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, which of course we need. We do have a chance for a few showers by the time we get into Tuesday afternoon. We'll start near 60, clouds thicken, here's the noon hour, late afternoon, couple random light showers rotate through, here's 7 p.m., additional scattered showers rotating through and then clearing out just in time for Wednesday. Day planner on your Tuesday, a lot of clouds again. mid-70s, but those scattered showers once we get into the afternoon hours. 76 for a high, 78 on Wednesday, 76 on Thursday. Better chances for rain Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And again, for the next week, we hang into the 70s, which is pretty good for the first week of fall.
Yeah, it's suddenly feeling like fall. And
I know.
just as the calendar says it officially is.
Not too bad.
Thanks, Doug. In a small study of pregnant women, researchers were able to find activity in a specific area deep in the brain that's linked to the regulations of negative emotions. Researchers in Germany say larger studies are needed, but the hope is that testing for this activity will help identify which women are most likely at risk for postpartum depression. New research from the Mayo Clinic reveals that alcohol-dependent men have different levels of certain hormones and proteins known to influence behavior compared to alcohol-dependent women. Researchers say the results imply that men and women with alcohol problems might benefit from different treatments. And older cancer survivors face double the risk of stroke and heart attack compared to cancer-free seniors. That's according to an analysis in the Journal of the American Cancer Society. Researchers in Australia found that chemotherapy was also connected to elevated rates of cardiovascular events. Coming up in sports, Missouri Southern football speaks at their weekly news conference. Plus, Nevada faces Webb City in a big non-conference softball matchup. Brock Baldridge has those highlights and more.
When you care.
Well, we're about halfway through the high school softball season in Missouri. The Webb City Cardinals have one of the best records in the COC, and tonight they face the Nevada Tigers, who are undefeated in the Big 8 Conference. This game was originally scheduled to be played in Nevada, but due to heavy rain, we moved to the turf field in Webb City. First inning of the ball game here, this one's popped straight up, and Lily Hall comes in from second base, makes the diving catch in the infield. Great play to start this game. In the circle for the Cardinals was the sophomore Olivia Nieberg. She pitched a clean 4 innings of scoreless softball, including a big strikeout here with the bases loaded. Meanwhile, Nevada had their ace going. Peyton Eaton was in the circle and dominating this game from start to finish. She also held this game scoreless through 4 innings of work. So we go to the top of the 6th inning. Game is tied 1-1. Kaylee Holcomb at the plate. She hits this one off the defender's glove at third base. Cadence Warner comes down to score the go-ahead run. Nevada takes the lead 2-1. Final inning right here. Tying run at third base. Lily Hall hits a ground ball to second base. The throw is initially dropped by Hallie Richmond. Picks it up just in time at first base. Umpires had a conversation. They ruled that the play was indeed the final out of the ball game. What a game this was. Nevada wins a thriller. Tigers beat the Cardinals 2-1. Indoors in the Cardinal Dome, the Webb City volleyball team is hosting the Mount Vernon Mountaineers. Both teams on a 2-game winning streak. Kicking off the first set, not really close, long rally. Mountaineers on offense, they try to go for the kill, but Adeline Maxwell and Jaylee Rutledge form a strong wall to block it. Cardinals take the first set by double digits. Second set, Mountaineers overcome a big deficit. Rutledge tries to float it, but she can't get the ball past the net. Mountaineers take the lead in the set, but Webb City fights back. Later in the set, Rutledge overcomes her earlier mistake and slams it for the kill. Cardinals now lead 2-0. You may think it's over, but Mount Vernon stays in it. Third set here, Rutledge puts a little bit too much mustard on it, and that sails out of bounds. Mountaineers win the third set. So to the fourth set, same story as the last 2 sets. It's neck and neck. Savannah Crane bumps it over to Kyra Long, and she puts the nail in the coffin. Cardinals take the fourth set. They defeat Mount Vernon 3-1. Well, the Missouri Southern football team is now 0-4 after being shut out last week against Northwest Missouri State. The Lions hit the road for a non-conference matchup facing Northeastern State. Here's what head coach Atiba Bradley had to say during the team's weekly press conference.
Yeah, guys, I'm frustrated. We're sitting at 0-4. I think at times we've played winning football, but we've also played some really good teams. And so, you know, when the results don't match the process, it's extremely frustrating. But make no mistake about it, we're down, but we're not out. The season isn't over. We're not just gonna, ship it in and just be done with the season and call it a wash. And so the message to the team has been that.
Well, we counted the votes after our press box show over on Fox 14. This week's Performance of the Week winner is Mount Vernon. The Mountaineers went on the road to beat an East Newton team who had a big turnaround thus far this season. Mount Vernon won that game 48-6. To vote on next week's Performance of the Week, just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. That's your look for sports. We're back after this.
Students at Central School in Columbus, Kansas had a howling good time when this well-known visitor dropped by today. Yeah, that's Casey Wolf himself, the Chiefs mascot. The familiar furry face stopped by the school to tell the kids what the life of a mascot is like and to encourage a love of reading. Staff and students showed the fan favorite a ton of excitement.
My favorite part of watching Casey Wolf today was seeing how excited the kids are, because the Chiefs are such a big part of so many families around here, and just so they can have joy and they'll remember this, and I hope that they'll remember that reading was a part of it, and that's something they'll always have.
Casey Wolf has been the official Chiefs mascot since 1989, winning over some young fans there for the Chiefs, in addition to encouraging a love for reading, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
The weather looking pretty nice for the foreseeable future.
A little bit of love for the rain that we've had over the past couple days. We are going to have fog tonight, so watch out for that into the morning hours. Wednesday looks great. Showers rolling back in late this week into the weekend, but all week long, temperatures into the 70s.
And look at those overnight lows. It's getting chilly somewhere.
Pretty good.
Final sports note.
Yeah, I know in that into that softball game, a lot of parents came up to me asking, if they could see the clip of that controversial call, and I said no. So I apologize to any parents who thought I was being passive aggressive or rude. But the fact of the matter is, umpires are humans too. Whether you agree with the call or not, I mean, these are kids playing high school softball in a non-conference game, so we just need to kind of tone it down a little bit. But that's why we all love sports. I mean, sometimes mistakes are made.
I suppose. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.